Good evening, mga kalaro, and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro channel where Sportitos talk about a different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak, Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Vice Chief Bisdak, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Good episode. Good episode. Just putting that up front.
Nice one. Yep. Very good episode indeed. And we also have with us the man with the thoughts. That's all. Welcome. The one and only Martin. How are you doing, Martin?
I'm doing fine. I know don't need someone to tap me on the shoulder to say I won the challenge.
There you go.
Good job, Cham Cham.
Or
Good.
even jump into the water.
Yeah,
All
jump
right.
into the water.
Anyway, tonight the council will take a look at episode 11 of Survivor 44 entitled I'm Not Worthy. And so, without further ado, let's get right into it with our highs. What are some of your highs? Let's start with Joe. What's your highest of highs?
Well, I was gonna say we should have the prodigal son start.
Oh, the prodigal son. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Just
All right.
The prodigal son with the thoughts. Marks.
Usually it comes in at the end, but let's put him at the right at the
Oh,
beginning.
finally. Well, I said it a few seconds earlier.
Mhm.
It's gonna have to be the challenge. It has to be the new challenge beast, quote unquote. Jam Jam winning a challenge. I'm like, even I didn't expect him to win. And he's my winner pick. Like, oh, I didn't know he's that good, but okay, I'll take it. It's like how Cochran outlasted freaking Malcolm in a challenge and won, and took out Malcolm the same. This is what I was saying is that in the chat, like, holy shit, this reminds me of that time. He took out a big name player, he got immunity, and then he's out. However, I don't know if it's really Jam Jam who wanted Danny out. It feels like it's more of Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn has
yeah.
been wanting Danny out for
Yeah.
the longest time.
The
So,
longest time.
and it was basically, well, it didn't matter in the end, but it was basically her play that sort of got highlighted in that tribal. Just to piggyback on that, I do like the fact that Jam Jam won that challenge. I mean, that victory dance alone is just
right?
enough for it to be a high, and especially the dive as well. You can't call it a cannonball. I don't know what you call it. You call it a whale, maybe. I don't know.
Free Willy. Free for those who get the reference.
Yeah. Yeah, and then but I just have to say though that I sort of low-key got scared when Jam Jam did not go
Actually.
up right away after
Actually.
Probst announced that he won. I was like, oh my gosh, is this yet another disaster that's gonna happen in this season? Right. So, and good thing that Danny's firefighter and first responder instincts kick in. He jumped right into the water.
Right into it.
That must have been very bad for a very bad feeling for him because he has not won. He never won a challenge at all.
I know. And I think
he had to be the one to tell Jam Jam that he won.
And looking back, he got voted out too. So
Exactly.
yikes.
That's why it must have been a bad feeling for him.
East of like the group, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Like that's
Well,
what they were thinking.
But to be fair to Danny, he's no Crystal Cox. Right?
Oh, please educate us, Martin, about Crystal Cox.
So imagine this. Some contestant way back in the season that was rumored that Jeff wanted to quit Survivor Gabon with the ever so famous Randy Bailey there and Sugar Kuiper and our favorite Corinne, well, at least me. There's this lady who's a gold medalist at that time.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah.
That's the runner. And that keeps bombing all the challenges. At least Danny's not like, oh, I'm the most physical, I'm the best challenger here, and like fumbles. No, actually, he's always in the thick of things.
Yeah.
He's like the guy who's gonna win, but never wins.
Yeah.
He's always there. At least he's that one instead of, Crystal, because after the season, they found out she was actually doping. That's why she won those things.
That's why she won in the
Olympics.
Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder she couldn't win in Survivor.
I remember watching that might have been a Peridium video where he was talking about the worst. Yeah, Gabon. The worst.
Yes, Gabon.
Season. And that first challenge where they had to run up the hill, and she couldn't do it.
Yeah,
That's why.
the
Yeah, and then they
Olympian.
find out that she was doping. Yeah. But anyway, good job on Jam Jam.
Yes.
For winning that. I just wish. I'm just glad that he didn't actually poop in the water as well, while doing it.
Oh yeah, but it won't be the first time there was an aqua dump in Survivor. Not the first. One of
Yeah,
many. One of many.
one of many. All right. What about you, Joe? What's your highest of highs?
Well, actually, I just wanted to say, admittedly, I was also kind of scared that he might have
Hmm.
passed out underneath the thing, especially
Oh
Yeah.
since
yeah.
Right.
we keep on like jokingly calling this the waterboarding
Mm-hmm.
uh immunity challenge, right? Like,
Uh,
you know,
yeah.
that, yeah, a part of me was like, oh no, is this another medevac? Um, the highest of highs was well, actually, I want to piggyback on like this. There's just
Mhm.
the idea of the last gasp challenge.
Mm.
That isn't my
Okay.
highest of highs, but since we're talking about it, we might as well talk about it. I really like that challenge.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of those classics that should be kept. Yeah,
Mm.
I doubt I doubt Carson actually installed grills in his like bathtub. Uh,
Oh, no. We couldn't put it
Yeah.
past him, Zhao. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 3D printing like grills and like
Really?
I don't know.
It's easier. It's just grills.
Yeah.
yeah, like I really like this challenge. It's it's got a real old school sort of survivor vibe,
Mm.
while at the same time being one of those challenges that won't take like 17 hours.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
Although it did take a long time, and the last time that it came out.
Ooh,
yeah, but
yeah.
you couldn't find the right place, right? Like, you know, or maybe like they could hold their breath for just an insanely long time, but I bet they like put it, you know, set it up in a different place. And it's is it's an opportunity like two seasons two seasons running. The last gasp has been the opportunity for somebody that is decidedly not a challenge beast
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
end up with an immunity challenge, like, or rather end up with an immunity win, right? It was
It was
Owen.
Carla and Owen last
Harlan.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carla and Owen, like decidedly not, you know, physical challenge beasts nor um puzzle challenge beasts. So this is a third like opportunity for people to shine. And I really like that, you know, the diversity in challenges so that it isn't like samey from episode to episode.
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
True.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
talking about my highest of highs, this is, I keep harping on this. This is a great like Survivor episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like it isn't filled to the brim with, you know, like game
Yeah.
mechanics and advantages and all of that sort of thing.
Mm.
And I'm just I'm just not going to stop harping on this because this is the sort of Survivor that I think I like. The early part of the season, um, being the place where the production blows their load in a matter of speaking,
Oh yeah.
and let the end game be like just pure Survivor gameplay. Like I was really scared that they would bring back like another birdcage idol or something into the post merge and have it be like the island of excessive advantages or the camp of excessive advantages or whatever. But no, like they've allowed the cast to sort of breathe and the cast to be themselves, and they allowed the cast to play a more old school Survivor, while in the earlier part of the game they got the cast to play a new school Survivor. So it's nice to see this sort of merging of different types of Survivor that we like,
Mm-hmm.
and where it counts, the advantages aren't flooding the game.
Yeah. Yeah, the episodes have become, at least for those of us who enjoy the classic Survivor, it has gotten stronger and stronger. And I think that the strength of the episodes comes from there not being too much interruptions or interventions from production in the actual game, and letting the castaways themselves, like, play the game basically without any advantages. So all of the and we all not just playing the game, but just really seeing the castaways. Like at first I was like, I didn't quite appreciate that whole meditation thing that Jamie was leading, probably because it was Jamie leading it. But uh, but yeah, uh, but it sort of gives us a little bit more of the characters of all the castaways. And for me, I always appreciate that if we get to see more of who the castaways are, as outside of like confessionals
Yeah.
or all of that, if we really get to see camp life. And I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate the restraint that production has practiced towards the back end of the season, right?
Really.
So kudos to that. Yeah, I agree with that high.
So I
Um,
gotta ask you guys
hmm,
now. You mentioned this, like, so would you rather have a meditation time with Jamie or Coach Chi with Coach? That's for everyone here.
neither.
Neither.
Neither. I'd rather have them hanging around the fire like what they did a
Okay.
couple of episodes ago and just talking, right?
Okay. Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
Zhao?
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing the whole meditation thing, meditation
Mhm.
with Jamie, you know, because it's like it's really interesting, right? Uh, when you have um, I'm going to be very careful with how I phrase this.
All right.
When you have an HR
It's
that will use things like mental health,
break
wellness
or something.
days, that
Okay.
will have that will have spiritual direction sessions, right? Like these are supposed to be, good for the person, good for the soul, and yes, they are, but also these are sort of very fertile grounds for um, levers that can be pulled as a way to motivate people to work. So it's a it's a way to sort of mine information,
Mm,
Okay.
right?
Nice. Yeah.
You have your group sharing, and it's insidious stuff that's done by some HR,
mm.
All right.
you know
This
So
is
you think Jamie was mining information on the
yeah.
people while
He's
leading the
it's like
meditation?
yeah. It's like data mining.
well,
Like
not
not really.
necessarily Jamie, not necessarily Jamie, but it's one of those things where everybody is at ease and
Mm,
everybody can talk a little more.
mm,
And if there are things that are sort of let slip during these meditation sessions or whatever, and these kumbaya sharing sessions, even if even if they're not supposed to affect the game, the good player will make sure that what they're saying and what they're taking note of are the things that'll get them further in the game. So it's an
Oh,
additional structure within the game that can lead to interesting gameplay.
mm.
okay.
If
Yeah,
that
I
makes
like
sense,
I
that.
understand. I
Go
can see that.
ahead.
Yeah, I can
right?
see that.
So, that's actually pretty cool. With that being said, I really hated those like formation sessions and those.
Maybe in the right context, maybe in like the game of
Yeah.
Survivor, it works because
Yeah.
not only does it give us more insight into who the different castaways are, but it, like you said, it provides them with more information and ammunition to be able to use in their gamesmanship and their gameplay,
Yeah,
right?
it's sort of like forcing them to be the opposite of the last cast, where everybody played it so close to the
Mm.
chest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
Here,
Actually.
everyone
they
was so guarded in the in last season. Yeah.
and to see how they can be guarded when you have these quote unquote supposed times off
Mm,
adds another wrinkle to the game that isn't something that's um what was the word you used? It wasn't interfere. You said interfere, but
Interventions.
Interventions.
it isn't an intervention. Probably the only intervention that production had was like sit in a semicircle, because
Oh,
because it was a drone shot, right? And I
Yeah.
just saw
yeah.
how clean that semicircle was. I'm like, oh, production probably like moved them around. Like, okay, now you can imitate.
We need a good shot.
And a good shot.
Give us a good shot.
And
You
then
can do your
editing
Coach
was like,
Chi.
and the editors were like, okay, cool. We can use that to like crossfade with the moon and stuff.
Yeah, so that was it's something that I like, because it is kind of like my highest device. It is the game being played by people in the way that they want to play the game, without the intervention of
The producers.
the visible hand of Jeff.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's a good high. And speaking of someone who isn't guarded, who just speaks their mind. For me, again, Martin, you're gonna love this. I am
Oh,
so
yeah.
much into the Carolyn hype train. Yeah,
Mhm.
because we got yet another character moment for Carolyn in this one. The whole thing where in our group chat, you guys said that the title of this episode should have been one with a
Yeah.
lobster.
Not
Right,
I'm
that
worthy.
whole sequence of her having that lobster shell and then quote unquote fighting Lauren for it. It gave us yet even more of Carolyn's character, and then it led to that whole sequence of her like swimming in the open water
With the
with Jam
fishies.
Jam singing Little Mermaid with the fishes, and they are really building up Carolyn as the hero of this season, right? And even with how the episode
Mm.
wound up, right? She saved her
Carson.
her her car's
Cartman.
son, right?
Yeah, Carson. But for me, like I want to add to that. You mentioned that she's billed as a hero. I really have to doubly agree in that, because who in the history of Survivor has had that similar scenes from
Who?
seasons past? Rupert, Ozzy.
Mm,
How do you
mm,
guys view them in their first two seasons?
course.
They're the heroes.
Heroes.
They're the protagonists of their seasons. They're one with nature, one with the island. And I
Mhm.
think that's her one with the island or one with the sea kind of thing. They tried to do that with Boston Rob and All Stars, but no, he was actually a villain. He was just trying to outfish like Rupert or Tom. But see, like I guess we can call this this is Carolyn's Rupert shot. You know,
Mm,
you know.
Mm.
yeah.
What's missing is like she has a lot of fish on her way back.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
she swam for the sake of swimming. She wasn't
Yeah,
really there.
she
It
wasn't
was
really
Jam Jam, I think, who was
providing.
trying to.
Yeah,
I guess
doing the
that could
Rupert.
have been a foreshadowing of it. The fact that Jam Jam is comfortable, like trying
Oh
to fish
yeah,
at the very least, going underwater.
that's true.
That might have been a foreshadowing of the fact that okay, he's okay being underwater. So, and none of the other castaways have been shown
Actually,
being like going underwater and fishing, right? This is
not
this
really. Yeah,
season. We have not seen anyone go fishing in this season so far, right?
that's true. If we did, it's not that noticeable like this
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good
Somebody
stuff.
hired, by the way.
Yeah. And,
Really?
yeah, sorry, I just have to add on and this goes back to Zhao's scatology thing, scatological thing.
Jeff.
Not
Jeff.
not eschatology, okay? Not eschatology.
Yeah. Because I commented this actually during No Buffs, but Carolyn has the greatest instincts about stuff,
Yes.
right? She has the greatest instincts that she's capable of sifting through the bullshit to find the tooth, right?
Mm.
And she was able to do that in this episode. Everyone was yeah, all the way from the start. Like she was able to, like, she got over the fight, the being mad at the Tika 3. I love their bond, by the way. That Tika 3. I hope that none of them betray the others, but I think that might happen. Anyway, but yeah, she's able to sift through the bullshit that's being constantly uh put in front of her, right?
Mm,
She's able to find the tooth or the truth,
the
and she
truth.
was able to make the right move. Made the
Yeah,
right
man.
move with the idol. I think I mean a lot of people are discounting it as unnecessary. For me, I think that her move was very necessary because that highlights her as someone who actually can make a move, number one. So she isn't like Gablerd too much, right?
Mhm.
Because had she not made that idol move, I don't think that she would have the relationships that Gabler had in the previous season to be
Oh,
able to eke out a win in the end, right? So she needed to make that move.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna, second or third this third. I'm gonna third it.
Heard
Uh,
it.
the the Carolyn being a high, although I'm going to put the idol as one of the lows, but it
Mm,
is a fact of the idol play. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. But again, the characterization of Carolyn, I'm gonna have to throw my full weight behind that because she's like the single greatest like reality show personality ever. Like
Oh,
I'm
ever?
go out on a I'm gonna go out on a lit I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that is that is
Okay.
the case, right? Like better than because she has all of the depth of strategy and all of that of Survivor, but all of the weirdness of somebody that you would see in one of those like Lifetime shows or what are they like
A&E? A or something? I don't know.
like the crazy lady in
mm,
the Traders, right? Like she can
mm.
also bring that sort of crazy energy as well. So she has like everything going for her, and that's I
Right.
suppose why she was initially the sort of ultimate. That's why she was the framing device for
Episode
For
1 of the
season,
season.
right? Like
yeah. So
I
so
like
yeah,
that.
she's basically a Debbie what winger? Is it Debbie
Uh, Debbie Wanner, but
Wa-
way better player.
and
Way
plus
better.
Phil Shepard rolled into one plus
Plus,
more strategy.
yeah,
No, not
it's
plus, not more strategy,
no,
plus strategy,
no,
actual
yeah, no, with
strategy.
they're actual. It's like Philip actually using his government intelligence experience on the
Yeah.
island instead of just naming everyone from Stealth RS.
and she has a great story, right?
Hmm.
And
Ah,
super like inspirational and all of that. So it's like she was built in a lab to be like the perfect reality show contestant, and like good luck to whoever is going to like
oh yeah, the next season.
whoever's going to follow in season 45, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I
God.
do think you mentioned her backstory. I think that also her backstory as a drug counselor has helped in being able to suss out the truth. Because I
Yeah.
mean, let's face it,
Mm,
a lot of
yeah,
these
man.
unfortunate people who fall to that addiction, and since it would, when they probably talk to her, m- a good number of them probably try to excuse themselves, right? And she'd be able to, if she's a good counselor, she'd be able to suss it out and then just able to tell them what's what, right? And I think that she's displaying here throughout the season that she's able to do that. Kudos to her, right?
Yeah.
So
uh
yeah, Carolyn, we are
Mm.
behind you. I am now. I've been behind. I've been supporting Carolyn the past couple of
Carolina
episodes
Mania.
already.
It's running
Yeah.
wild in the Council of Titos.
I'm not yet on like the wrestling point. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm behind. Uh, I'm now supporting Carolyn as a potential possible winner, as the hero of this season. Yeah.
Actually, is it
Sorry.
okay to add about that?
Yeah, go
Like
ahead, man.
about the hero and stuff. I think I don't know if you guys will agree. One of my highs is actually the placement of who got eliminated. Like this might have been the best time for Danny to be eliminated at the game
Why do you say so?
because he's still at that point where he is like playing game heavy. He's trying to make the moves, make the eliminations, just like the last move for Annie,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but not in the way that it will sour on us. Like how, well, I heard some people didn't like how Jesse eliminated the ass man last
Mhm.
season. Like there wasn't a betrayal that big yet for some fans who are behind Danny to, oh my God, that's terrible. Why do you take them out? No,
Mm.
he has yet to do in terms of wrestling, he has yet to do a full heel
Heel turn.
turn,
Yeah.
if you will. You know, this is like the best time for him to fall on the sword, to be voted out, to be actually very sportsmanlike about the vote out.
Mm.
Because had
Mm.
he stayed, I think he would have turned, you know, slightly a bit bad
Too
near the
villainous.
end game. Yes, there might have been a villainous term. This might have been what we would have felt like would have happened had, say, certain people like Rupert would have happened had he really stayed in final two in the first season or All Stars. You know,
Mm. So in what you're saying is Danny being eliminated now keeps him from becoming a villain in the eyes of the fans.
some fans, yeah, like
Yeah.
some fans, not most, but it's like, okay, this is a safe place to be eliminated.
Mm. Mm.
We're good. We're good.
What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah.
He already does have villain vibes. I mean, to the at least, well, not villain, perhaps antagonist vibe.
Mm.
Yeah. A bit of Rupert, Russell in him. Yeah.
Like the story that we're being told is cross the Tika 3 and you're out.
Yeah. Cross the
Yeah.
ticket 3 and you're out.
Like that seems to be the story. And Danny was one of the people that crossed the Tika 3, so he's become edited. Well, he's edited as a bit of an
Mm.
antagonist.
Yeah. And
Mm.
Uh, you know, in modern Survivor, in modern US Survivor, we have no
yeah.
villains, only antagonists.
Yeah. We have to have the protagonist and the antagonists. Yeah. Yeah.
I would venture to guess that if Danny had gone further and like backstabbed somebody, they would edit around that in a way that um it was not villainous. You know?
Villains,
Mm.
like a bit heroic or like
Not
Yeah.
just
necessarily,
right. Just right. This is
heroic, but like sneak.
But necessary, maybe.
yeah,
Something like that.
like that.
They're going to include a confessional where it's like it's for my game,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for the people back home. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, right?
Mm.
Like
Like,
that.
So that I don't have to do that De Niro face anytime soon.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I'm gonna take out that torch chef. Eh? Eh. I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to put that on a higher or low because it was stalling the
Well,
whole
yeah,
episode.
I'll talk about that later. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, jumping on that, I do think I guess I sort of agree with Martin, in that this prevents Danny from becoming an even bigger villain that he all or a bigger antagonist than he already was. But what I do like about Danny was his entire mindset about
Mm,
Survivor. For
yeah,
him, it was a
that's
game.
good.
It's a game. It reminds me of Tina from the Outback,
Wesley.
right?
Oh,
Because for
yeah.
Tina, she for her it was really a game. That's why she gave herself the authority to lie, to not be
Hell.
sincere with everyone, despite the fact that she's a nurse, right? That was her profession. But in the game, since it's a game, I give myself authority not to be loyal, not to be sincere, because I need to get ahead in the game, right? And I think that's also one of the reasons why Danny is gonna respect what Carolyn did,
Yeah.
because Carolyn did what she needed to do in order to keep Carson, despite the fact that there were two very ill-advised votes from Jamie and
Oh,
Lauren.
yes.
Uh, but yeah, but Carolyn, I think that the move that Carolyn made, using the idol to safeguard Carson, is gonna make Danny vote for her in case she gets to the final three, right? Because we have to remember that Danny also did something similar for Franny just a couple of episodes back, right? So he respects that kind of gamesmanship. He sees this really as a game, and I think that and I admire his mindset for it, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So
Good.
yep. Oh, any other highs on your side?
Yeah.
This is these were my predictions from last week.
Oh, right.
Danny gets the line. Hmm. Not two people winning. One person is gonna
Mm-hmm.
lose. Carson wins immunity, but Carolyn plays the idol.
Mm-hmm.
Danny gets voted out, and Jamie is continued to be edited like a goat.
Well, we got the last
You
three.
got the goat.
Yeah, you
You got
got the
the
last three. Right. Yeah.
I got mine wrong. It wasn't Jam Jam who said the line.
Mhm.
I forgot my other prediction.
And Joe, I think you also we're gonna give this to you. The ascent of hero Carolyn. She
Yeah.
show her chops in a confessional, and Carolyn will make it to the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the last one is like for later on. Yeah. So
I suppose my navel gazing high is that we got more right than wrong this time.
Mm, it's
for
true.
this episode, we got more right than wrong. You got three. That's pretty good. Right. And I just have to add that one of my highs is my canonical winner pick is playing the game. Heidi throwing Franny under the bus. Heidi with a backstory. They're showing Heidi with fire, sort of foreshadowing possibly her going to fire later on because no one else has been shown making fire except her in the first episode, and then now again as part of her backstory,
There
right?
was the talk about how like Carson has been getting a lot of fire as well. Like
Yeah,
not shown making fire, but like
but like
firing
yeah,
from
this
a
one,
distance.
this the slow mo from last episode was him in front of the fire, and then there was a shot for this episode where the fire was reflecting in his glasses,
Ooh.
right? So people are saying that there is the editors are trying to clue us in on something that that Carson is going to uh do fire, right? And because Heidi is the only other one who has been shown making fire, they're saying that it's going to be them, right? uh and speaking of Carson, though, I really like that it's not a confessional, it's a testimony. His testimony during tribal, where about him being a 19-year-old and being around all these experienced players, and then him being like the weird kid and all of that. I think that is quote the thesis of this entire of the castaways of this season, right? They're all the weird kids. They're all those who were underestimated at one point in their lives, and they're the ones, especially the ones that are left, right? These are the ones who are like they're the ones who are like excelling right now in the season. And yeah, I think that was such a good thing to put in there. So yeah, and Carson really put it said it really well. So he is we've Jao, you've been saying how Tika has been the framing device, have been the narrators of the season, and I think that statement from Carson really is the narrator statement of the season.
I just Carson is just playing such a good game.
Yeah.
I just can't. Oh, it's such a good game. But you know what's really interesting about Carson? Uh, what I see with him is he's young, but then
Mm-hmm.
he isn't young like a lot of the other young players that are young people with a lot of personality, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
like he's like a behaviorist's wet dream. He's like a completely blank slate. He came into the game, um, not giving away too much about how much of a nerd he is, about all of the stuff that he's done to prepare. Like all we've all the most that they really know about him, or at least um they've shown to us, was that he's single, he worked out, and he got broken up with. He got broken up with, right?
Mhm.
Oh.
And he's doing the thing where he can be everything to everybody, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Okay.
kind of like the editors are doing that as well.
Mhm.
Like using the blank slate that is Carson as sort of a mouthpiece
Oh.
in a way. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, but that's something that feels about right. Because yeah, he says he's the weird kid, but he doesn't get into the specifics of the weirdness, right? Because everybody is, everybody has the case to be made for being weird.
Yeah.
You're always weird
Amen.
in certain social situations. Like at some point in my life, I was the totally weird kid, but when I'm sitting here with you guys, good lord, I'm so normal.
Yeah.
Because of what we consider normal in this little
Normal.
space that we
Yeah.
have.
Exactly. Exactly. And I
I like
and
that.
I agree with you. I mean, the way that he phrased it made it such that it endeared him all the more to the entire tribe. I mean, not just the ones that were still in the game, but even the jury. I mean, you might even say that might have been a bit of jury management, right? We're all weird here. I'm like the epitome of weird, right? So vote for me when I get to the final three, right?
Yeah, because like if he goes out, because if he comes out and says like, "Yo, I'm interning for NASA," like
Oh.
I went to like this great school and I'm like a super genius. It's like,
Mhm.
good luck getting
And I
any.
3D print all the puzzles.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
all the puzzles, like he's not gonna get a single vote.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. He is able.
Mhm.
He's not just smart in terms of being able to work for NASA, but he's also smart in terms of reading people and knowing how to get into people's good graces. I believe. I guess. Right.
except for that one time that he read a book about interrogation. Let's just not forget that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, kudos Carson, Jam Jam. We're like praising the Tika 3 right now. And Danny. Well, but Danny's already out of the game, but yeah.
and Heidi, and Heidi, your canonical winner
Oh
pick has
yeah,
the
Heidi, yeah.
Heidel. She has the Heidel.
Riley is still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Any other highs on your side? You're
Nothing on
good?
me, man.
Alrighty then.
Eh,
Let's go to the lows. Marts, what's your lowest of low?
Oh, well, I don't know what to say. Maybe stop. Yeah, come on, Jeff. I don't know, Jeff. Really, Jeff. That's all I can say. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That De Niro face. That I don't know if his friends really ask him to do that because they love it or because
They
they
don't.
just like fooling him into thinking that it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all right, I guess. Like he kind of looks like it with a eye with a face, yeah, whatever, all scrunched up and all. But like what you said, I loved what Probst did more than what Danny did.
Yeah.
Probst like just letting him, okay, get it out of your system, you know. and and Danny's like, what, are you not gonna stop me? I'm just gonna keep on doing this. You're gonna really make me make a fool out of myself here, right?
Oh
Yeah, with the
God,
De
no.
Niro face, that was okay.
it came out of nowhere. I'm not gonna say that it
I
was low for me. It was I found it entertaining.
Mm.
um, kind of endearing, a little bit like, it's the sort of thing that you can meme about for a little while, you know.
I guess. But
Yeah.
But
to be fair,
to Martin's point, it went a little bit long, right?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it went a bit longer than it probably should have, at least in the edit.
Yeah. I think that they did it on purpose. It was like entertaining at first, and then it kept on going.
Yeah.
It and it became awkward, but Jeff didn't stop it.
Why,
So it's
Jeff?
like
Why?
Jeff was
Why?
probably like, "The hell is he doing?" Okay, let's see how long he can do it without stopping himself. So yeah, my high, that's actually a high and a low for me. The high is what Jeff did, but the low is
Yeah.
the fact that Danny actually did it, and it
Why?
took that long.
Why? Why?
Was it like a dare or something?
I think so. It feels like he
Yeah,
was there to do it, but Jeff didn't stop him. He just,
yeah.
Jeff, what are you doing?
He was. Jeff was also playing. I think Jeff was playing. He was playing with
Ah!
Danny. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Because he did say that I told everyone at home that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna De Niro face you while you're stuffing
uh,
my torch. Right. So yeah, he probably does it all the time at home.
I'm gonna say that I disagree. I'm gonna say it was a high. I'm putting
okay,
I'm going to say that it was a high because it was something different.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. It's different. It's different. Yeah.
because it's always like, we're gonna Drea it, and we're going to try to drop some sort of truth bombs, or like we're going to be the bitter juror that flips everybody off on their way out, or they're gonna be the super fan where they'll ask Jeff if they can say the tribe has spoken. Like
oh yeah,
most of the way that people get voted out or enter, most of the way that people enter the jury is, it's just like, yeah, whatever. A couple of besos here and there, like a couple of those kisses here and there, and be like, "Oh, great job, guys! Huh, you got me. Oh,
me.
good
Yeah.
job. Love you. See you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like, what does Danny do? He's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a terrible impersonation. Come on.
It's gonna give me a little bit more screen time.
Time.
Uh,
Maybe way too long.
but again, it goes back to how Danny has been seeing Survivor.
Yeah.
He doesn't see it as a journey to discover oneself. He doesn't see it as anything but what it is, a game, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay for him to make a fool out of himself in the end because it's a game. It's a TV show. You're there it was his basically it was his last opportunity to ham it up as a player of the
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
So he does do it. Yeah.
Because now on the jury, he's gonna have to be like, like,
Although in this episode we got a little bit more reactions, especially from Franny, who has like one of the most vibrant expressions on her face whenever something happens. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good low. That is also a high and a low, and yeah. What about you, Zhao? What's your lowest of lows?
some of the editing decisions that were made, or some of
Oh,
the
like what?
Okay.
the story decisions that were made. Um, we didn't get the reason that Heidi's name was brought up, or
Mm,
Oh,
that
right. Yeah.
um Jamie and Lauren voted for Heidi.
mm-hmm.
Like, there was no clear reason for it.
Yeah.
All we got were the two red herrings. The one red herring being Heidi getting her backstory, and the other red herring being, right before they go out to vote, Carson gets to deliver like a monologue about growth and all of that.
Mm,
Right? That's one tell that the person is going home. So that was like, the red herring, but
yeah.
you didn't get to see the reasoning for that. We also didn't get to see the reasoning for why Carolyn put Lauren's name down, crossed it out, and put Danny's name down.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was
Sure
weird,
that there's
man.
a conversation or two missing where Carolyn put Lauren's name down for fear of an idol from, you know,
Danny,
From
somebody
Danny or
from
maybe.
whoever. For
Danny or
Danny, at the very least, yeah.
right? But then why Lauren specifically? Was it just like a stray vote in case three idols came into play and nobody was looking towards Lauren? But then if that's the case, why didn't she just leave it on Lauren instead of putting Danny's name down? Like we didn't get the reasoning for it. Uh,
Good point.
Maybe they
True.
get it maybe we get it next week, like what she was computing. That's why why she was
Mm.
computing too long in the voting booth or whatever. Because, like, I'm sure she was doing like that mind blown meme, right?
Mhm.
Dude that does
Yeah.
that, see all of the numbers. Like, I'm pretty sure she was running numbers like that. It's just we didn't get to see the numbers. We just have to kind of infer it, which
Yeah, we infer it based on her fingers, how how she grouped the different fingers and all. Yeah,
and then yeah, why the votes on
on
uh,
Heidi.
I'm sure that there was a good reason for that.
Mm.
Somebody, it could be something as trite as like, oh, we're scared of knowledge is power or whatever, or like we're scared of an extra vote or something
Yeah.
dumb. But like the fact that there was no explanation is, it's kind of annoying when Survivor does that, right? Like we've talked
Mm.
about before, that it's like
Mm.
the soft cliffhanger that they use sometimes. That's assuming that like we're going to get an explanation for it next time. So that's the low, like the storytelling there.
Mm. It
Uh,
wasn't as clear as it could have been. Yeah, I actually had that also as one of my lows. The two votes that Jamie and Lauren threw on Heidi. For me, it was out of nowhere, and the fact that Jamie and Lauren thought that that was the play because they were in the middle, they were playing the middle. And even Lauren even like tweeted something about if other people or if the something about what do you call this, when they played the middle, people were up in arms, but when others like Tika 3 were playing the middle, everyone thought it was a good move. But for me, I really didn't see why. And that's the thing. It's because editing didn't show us that. Editing didn't help
Mhm.
the storytelling. Telling us the only thing that I could see contributing to them voting for Heidi was, I think that Carson had a conversation with them, uh, making them feel that they're actually the swing vote of the episode of that tribal. So but other than that, why they actually chose to put votes on Heidi, it does not help their game at all, right?
yeah. Well, it apparently doesn't help their game at all. Again, I'm looking at you, Survivor editors.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where is the clip that now we have to vote Heidi? Is it like their kind of vote split that we didn't see?
Yeah,
Right?
was it like Plan Voodoo?
Yeah. Blind
I
voodoo.
don't know. Maybe they were thinking that Danny has an idol and he might play an idol along with, and there might be an idol play for Carson as well, or I don't know. It's
Or
so
maybe
weird.
or maybe they found out that Heidi had an idol and wanted to flush it, because that would have been great.
Maybe,
Oh, maybe.
maybe because it would have been weird for them not to tell Danny who to vote for, right?
Mhm.
Not to
Actually,
vote
that's
for
not.
Heidi. If they were voting for Heidi, because they know that the Tika 3 is going to vote for whoever they want to vote for, right?
Yeah.
So they bring in a third and pour all of their votes on Heidi, bring in Danny, or yeah, something like that. But they didn't. They thought that they were the swing vote and whoever they voted for will go home.
Mm.
Or maybe they thought that the Tika 3 were voting for Heidi, and they wanted to stay in the good graces of the Tika 3. I don't know. We it's hard to tell without that with
The
insufficient storytelling.
like
Yeah.
the lack of context for the
Yeah.
audience viewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, man. Good point.
And while we're on the topic of the editors, they're doing Jamie. They're still doing Jamie pretty dirty. Like this episode was better than the previous episode. Better than the previous episodes. You know, she got some good, like, personal content and all of that stuff. But like, I don't know. There was I was reading an interview with Danny, right? And he said something. Well, here, let me just pull it up.
Okay.
With Jamie, just how tough and how much of a camper Jamie was around camp. She knew more stuff than most people. She was preparing the fish, and no matter what the situation, I would look over and smile, and her smile would be there. She's tough as nails. Like, you know, you say these are the things I would have liked to see more. I remember being impressed by that. You know, this girl is getting poured on by rainstorms happening, and she's like, namaste. That was very cool. Like to see that, but then like she ends up being, you know, the
Dodo edit.
yeah, she gets like the ultimate dodo edit. Like the editors are doing her dirty.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. There
Yes,
must be a reason. She might come out as the one who finally breaks the Tika 3. I don't know.
That would be
That's a positive way of looking at it. I mean, she's always been edited as an optimistic person, to say
Yeah.
the least. Right? Things will go my way. Bring. Right?
the truth will set me free.
Yeah.
Not really, Jamie.
like I said, this episode was better. She's being framed as an optimist. In the previous episodes, she was being framed as an idiotic optimist. You know, at least the editors are being, or at least the editors are, you know, taking it easy on her. But still, you know, we're still getting.
Taking it relatively easier on
Yeah.
her for this episode.
Okay.
So
Well-
whack up the finger.
Survivor editors, Jeff Probst, come on, don't do your castaways dirty. Yeah.
She's still my meme winner pick. Just the watch the world burn winner pick, but you know, there's are dirty.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
anyway,
God,
for
yeah.
my because you guys have picked out the other lows that I've got, so I'll just share my last remaining low. Uh, the fact that it took this long for the rest of the tribe, particularly Lauren, to figure out that the Tika 3 is a threat. When Franny has been saying was saying that a couple of episodes ago, so basically like 3-4 days ago, right? And they're just picking up on that now, right? They underestimated the Tika 3 as a group, and now they all of a sudden see that, oh my gosh, they are the power players and we are at their mercy. Right? That's just it's a low for me because it would have kept Franny in the game and we would have had more revenge story going on. But yeah, Lauren missing out, everyone else missing out on that. That's a low for me.
To be fair, on the Franny vote out, not all three of them voted for Franny. Actually, one voted with Franny.
Yeah. Carolyn was, but it's not because they felt that Franny was a what do you call this? Yeah, I mean, how Franny did still see them as the threat, and I don't think that they saw that she saw that.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
she was
the problem.
communicating this with the rest of the tribe, but
It's like
they just
too
didn't.
late.
They didn't believe her. They saw her as a bigger threat, the individual as the bigger threat. How can one individual be a bigger threat than a
Than a
block,
group.
than a group of three who can a voting block of three, right?
And it's weird that they realize it deep in the game, as you said, the low. Because these kinds of alliances, you saw it like it should have been seen, it should have been coming from everyone in the game. like when Kim Spradlin and her group,
Mm.
like Jay Byers, underwear model Jay Byers kind of said, "Hey guys, I think the ladies are gonna run roughshod here." And then, really? Nah, I don't think so. And then they voted with her. And then soon Troyzan was gone. And then soon the other guy was gone. And then Kim won. Same thing when Ozzy got voted out in Micronesia.
Mm.
Like, they're with me. Nope. The Black Widow Brigade ain't with you.
Mm.
Like, goodbye, Ozzy.
Yeah.
But I think the more recent example would have been, and this is how I imagine this trio, the Tika tree, are.
Mhm.
It's Tyson season. It's Tyson, it's Monica, and it's Jervis. Like, and right now, what they have is Tina and her child, and then the other dude. And it's too late because they're running the show already. And I think I'm sorry, I can be wrong. 9 out of 10 times, though, I think this is the final three.
Ooh,
If they have
wow.
their wits to each other to stick with this, because they have the numbers now.
Yeah.
It's easy now. It's stupid if they break up in the next episode. But
Yeah.
hey, anything can happen in Survivor.
Anything can happen in Survivor.
Anything can happen, right?
Yeah. People can promise one of them, like,
Yeah.
stick with me and you're sure to win. Like maybe if
Yeah.
Jamie finally gets that amount
Gets
of
immunity.
self-awareness to figure out that she is a goat, and then she tells like Jam Jam, choose me over the others, and you're sure to win. All right, or tell Carolyn that or something. I don't know. Yeah. So it was baffling to me that they took this long
Yeah.
to finally figure out that that the Tika 3 is a threat. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, these castaways have been portrayed as pretty smart, but yeah, the nerds. But they just haven't been able to pick up on the fact they underestimated Tika as a whole. To the point they Gablered them to a whole as a whole.
Because let's be real here. Like, it's one of the previous episode titles. They were
Which
seen
is
like the Three Stooges.
mm, yeah,
Like, they're just a wacky trio.
yeah,
There's the
and
crazy dad. There's a
mm,
crazy mom, and then there's the kid who's like the scrawny glasses kid in Carson. You know,
yeah, but yeah,
they're
they
not a
probably
threat.
thought that these three were like the unlikeliest of people to be together, that they were going to be so dysfunctional. And at times they did show that they are
Yeah,
kind of dysfunctional. They fight, they they argue,
they
but then
argued.
again at the end of the day, or at the by the next day, they always come back together and
Yeah.
continue on as a group,
So,
right?
so
And
we're
that's one
saying,
of the things that's so good about their bond. Yeah.
Yes. It's really it's really cool. Like 2 seasons in a row, we're getting the unlikely alliance being the one that brings you to the end.
Mm,
Like the Cody and
yes,
the Cody and Jesse
mm,
alliance
yeah,
was like the one that nobody saw, even though like we all saw it.
mm,
Apparently, like on the island, nobody saw it, right? Like listening
yeah,
to Jesse and Cody's interviews, the thing that they would do was meet up for like 5 minutes to touch base or something every day, and that's just 5 minutes out of the 24-hour day. So like they were keeping their relationship kind of low key, and Tika might be doing the same thing. I don't know. Or it could also be the fact that they haven't always voted together that's throwing people for a loop. Like with the Franny vote,
mm,
when Carolyn was like, "No, I'm not going to put Franny's name down," you know, jury management maybe, but um, they haven't always been voting together. So like they vote together when they need to vote together.
mm,
It's kind of like what Danny said to Lauren, like, we're gonna get it even without your vote, and they all kind of understand that,
oh,
yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
even though Danny was like completely wrong about it, the Tika 3 are showing a model for that, where like you don't really need each and every person's vote, and by not always voting in lockstep and being together 100% of the time, um, it makes the alliance less noticeable,
Obvious.
less obvious. Yeah, they're less of a target. It makes you less of a
Mm.
target. So,
We've
I don't
been
know if they
seeing.
intended that or
Sorry.
it was dumb luck. I don't know if they intended that or if it was dumb luck, but like,
Hey, it works.
It
we managed
works.
It
to do
works.
it.
We, I was gonna say that we've been seeing for the past 3 seasons how maintaining your threat level as an individual has gotten you to the end, or in a lot of in yeah, all 3 cases gotten you the win. This time we're seeing threat maintenance at a totally different level. They're now maintaining the threat of the three of them as a group, and that's what has gotten them to this point where they're now the majority. They now have the power in the game, right? So they've been hiding in plain sight. They've been the wolf in sheep's clothing. They've been all of that as a group, right? And that's this is a totally new thing for the new era, right?
What we're saying is, they've been uh, they've been the lamb to lion,
Mm,
doing it for the weird kids and hiding in plain
Yeah.
sight.
yeah, as a group,
As
right?
a
As a group, and that takes it to a totally different level. That takes it to a totally different
Yeah.
level for me. That they're able to do it as a group, right? So
And
yeah, Martin, you're saying that this might be the final three. They if they do end up
yeah,
being the final three, they deserve
I
to be the
mean,
final three because of
we
how they
haven't seen.
managed
Yeah,
their threat level the entire season.
I haven't seen this since Blood and Water or versus Water One.
Mm. Who
So
went who
this
got to final three?
that was Tyson, Monica, and Jervis,
Mm.
and that was the trio.
Yeah.
And for them, it was also like the mother figure who was like a bit iffy at times in the alliance. Like, will I do it for Monica or will I,
Mm.
will I stick to the two?
Mm.
Those
Mm.
coconut bandits. And they all stuck together. But obviously they got the votes. Tyson won because he was
Mm.
the most strategic. So the thing here now, who's the Tyson of this trio? You
If
know?
we're gonna go by what
The
they
edits
perceive,
right
the
now?
perception, it's probably gonna be Carson.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like the oddball, the odd man out.
Yeah.
He seems to be the glue of this trio.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the other
And
two,
a lot of
they're
other
yeah,
like talking heads have been saying that he is the mediator between between the
yeah,
two wild
volatile,
ones. Yeah.
bustable elements, right? So it's interesting to see the finale because it's either the three of them will be there or two of the three will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way it won't be the three of them is in the final four,
Mm.
one of the fourth person will win,
Yeah.
forces two of them to do the fire making challenge. That's it.
Mm.
But they
Or
have a
like,
75% chance of winning.
Carson ends up doing fire against
Oh
Heidi and
god.
Heidi wins.
Yikes. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be Jam Jam or Carolyn or Heidi,
Yeah.
which I think in that arrangement might be Carolyn.
Yeah. If
Especially
Carolyn is able to think of
yeah.
uh yeah, because in the end it's you give you give your growth story and how you've been able to connect with people. That's the thing. That's what I've been saying, that it's going to be hard for Carolyn to prove uh uh to get the votes because she hasn't necessarily been able to connect with other castaways the way that Jam Jam, say for example, has,
Hmm.
or even most especially
Carson.
Carson has,
Hmm.
right? So that's going to be hard for her. But what's going to be going for her is if she says, I am the epitome of this season. I'm the weird person. Everyone has been thinking that I'm weird, but I defied the odds and I'm here. If you're going to
Yeah.
choose a winner, choose me. I am your winner. I embody all of us here.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
True.
anyway. So we're talking about lows, but we're like now I don't know what
Like going
I
to
don't know
the
what we're talking
future.
about.
Like,
Getting into
like the
highs and
predictions, I
getting
guess.
into all these other things. Any other lows in your side, guys?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah. I think you know
It's yeah, that's a good spot. It's good that we were able to get to this spot, I think. From talking about the lows of the Tika 3 not being seen, right? So yeah. Okay, let's then go ahead with our predictions. Jao, rattle. Oh well, you already did rattle off our predictions from last week. So I guess we won't go into that. Let's just go straight to whose line is it actually? So next episode, the title is "I Am the Bandit." Who do you guys think is?
it's
Guys,
me, Austin. It's me all along, Austin. I don't know.
uh,
Zhao, you first. I think I get it wrong again.
Carolyn. I guess Carolyn. It sounds like the sort of thing that she would say, but no, I'm gonna say Jamie. I'm gonna say
ooh, Jamie
yeah.
going with a curveball there.
Okay. Fine.
What about you, Marts?
Heidi.
Oh,
Just
why do
to
you
be
say Heidi?
random. Just to
Just to be
just to be
random.
random.
Okay, I actually do have
maybe
Heidi as well.
maybe this will
Uh,
stick now.
I'm sorry.
Maybe this will stick now.
I do
We
have
will
Heidi
finally
as
get
well
one.
because I attribute it to the fact that she does still have her idol, so
Oh
she
shit.
is gonna hijack the vote by getting
Right.
everyone to vote for her and using her idol to get one of the Tika 3 out. So yeah,
Whoa.
she's gonna give a confessional about that. I'm the bandit. I'm gonna hijack this vote.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Any
So
other
that's your prediction
predictions?
too. Like
Yeah.
Wait.
Heidi will survive and have the one of the Tika tree voted out for next
Yeah.
episode. Okay. For
Oh,
me,
you yeah. And wait, Zhao, you were gonna say
oh, ciao,
something?
ciao, go, go, go. Yeah.
So for the predictions, you're saying that Heidi will get the line and Heidi will hijack the
The
vote.
vote for by getting everyone
Uh,
to vote for her and get one of the Tika 3 out. I hope
Wait,
it's not Carolyn.
is the idol good for final five or final six?
It's probably it didn't say, but usually it isn't it like
Five, right?
good to final 5, yeah.
Okay, so after this episode, they could still use it for the finale, the first tribal council.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's the okay. Well, I think we may see Lauren out just to even out the other tribes to just one left remaining for the finale. Because they have to take they got if like I said, they should play smart now. They're the majority.
Mm.
It's a fool's errand to like go break up already at this point.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a sure path, well at least a what 50% shot already at the final three, all three of them.
Mm.
So yeah.
So we're saying that all three of us are viewing the next time on Survivor as another like red
A
herring.
red
Red
herring. I
herring?
like I
I
said in
think
the
so,
last
yeah.
episode, I am not gonna base any of my predictions on on next week on Survivor. Yeah, that part where Jam Jam was like crying if he was gonna betray Carolyn, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What about you, Joe? Predictions?
All right. Let's see. It's I'm gonna go with Martz on this, and Lauren is gonna get caught in the crossfire somehow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like, yeah. Um, Heidi will play the idol, but it's going to be Lauren that gets caught in the crossfire.
hmm. Yeah. The past couple of episodes have primed us for Heidi getting too paranoid and finally playing the idol, for herself. And I actually do have as my other prediction as Heidi going to side with the Tika 3. I mean it's sort of logical You just got 2 votes
Yeah.
from the other two who are non-Tika. Uh, right? They threw votes at you. So it's logical that you're not gonna like them for the next couple of days. So you're gonna side with the Tika 3. And but she's probably gonna realize that, oh gosh, I have to stick with these guys because otherwise we're just gonna get picked one by one, picked off one
Yeah.
by one. But like you say, yeah, but like you guys said, Lauren will get caught in the crossfires. For me, I'm sticking with this is probably the time one of the Tika 3 will fall.
But it's not going to
Fair.
be Tika implosion. It's going to be
An idol.
Heidi.
Yeah.
It's going to be Heidi being the bandit.
Yeah, Heidi
Yes.
being the bandit, hijacking the vote.
So she will
Heidi
be
being like,
swiper.
"Oh, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, you should vote me out." And then wham, throws out the idol.
So
And
she'll be like,
wham, bye bye Tika 3.
call an ambulance, but not for me. Not for me.
'Cause that might be something interesting for Final Tribal, right? Like, Carolyn and Heidi, and they compare their idol plays.
Uh,
Yeah,
That could
pretty
be.
good. That'll be
yeah,
pretty
that'd be
cool.
interesting if it gets to that.
If
If it gets to that.
Because
Any other predictions?
because we're assuming that Heidi is going to get knocked out in fire.
Yeah, at the very least, Heidi is gonna
maybe,
figure in fire. And if we're gonna follow the rest of the zeitgeist, thinking that Carson is the edit clues have been leading to Carson also doing fire, it's gonna be a Carson versus Heidi fire up fire la palooza.
So and we also believe that Carolyn has plot armor at this point, right?
More or less.
okay.
More or less. Yeah.
In which case, we're very sorry, Martin. Your winner
Why?
pick, according to Joel, is going to be knocked out next week.
Oh,
Jam
well.
jam.
Oh, well.
Jam jam. If what
If,
my if what
yeah.
I predict as regards the title is gonna follow. It's gonna happen. Yeah. So jam jam. And that's also probably why
Okay.
he's like remorseful or crying because he feels that he needs to go against the rest of the Tika 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going
Yeah.
to be an interesting final 2 episodes for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
I'm really excited for the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for that.
Very good. I mean, it's been getting stronger and stronger, and I love it. And I love it. The episodes.
this
Okay.
this season has been like a smiley face, right? Like it starts out really high, and then it kind of goes down, and then it goes back up. It's like a
Mhm.
smiley face.
I like it. I
Mhm.
like it actually. That's a
Yeah.
better thing to go. Like at least we go end on a high note instead of
Exactly.
ugh,
Exactly.
I don't know
Exactly.
the idols. I don't know.
Any other predictions, guys?
Nah, I'm fresh out. You guys?
Got nothing for you.
Yeah, I
All
got them
right.
30.
All right. So let us go ahead to our survivors of the week. Let's start with Castaway of the week. Marts, we got Carolyn. Joe?
Jam jam.
Jam
Oh,
Jam
okay.
with a with
Okay.
a with a win in the challenge. I actually also have Carolyn. Uh yeah. What let's go one by one. Marts, why do you say it's Carolyn?
She got what she wanted. Danny's out. What she wants goes. So hey, she controlled the game. That's a good player of the week. You
Hmm.
set the pace of the game. And that's all I can say. That's all.
Hmm. What about you, Joe? Why Jam Jam?
Because I figured that both you and Martin would have Carolyn as the.
What if I had gone with
Vegas for the
Carson? Well,
wild.
then he didn't actually do anything much
There would be
today.
a Tika tree.
Yeah. Yeah, Jam Jam. Although, yeah, kudos to Jam Jam. He
Yeah,
got
kudos.
that challenge win. He got the and he was able to do a perfect whale dive into the water. I don't know if he was trying to do a cannonball. Danny was able to do a somersault again into the water. Uh, it was, but yeah, for me, Carolyn, because she saw the Carson vote, she sifted through the bullshit and saw the truth.
Yeah.
And she used her, in my opinion, she used her idol correctly, even though a lot of talking heads say that it was unnecessary. And we get more character moments from her, right?
Yeah.
The one with the lobster thing, with the long finger.
If I may, before we finally wrap this up,
Yeah.
um, the her playing it incorrectly. I'm not sure that playing it incorrectly is like the right is this the right sort of thought to have, right? Like she played it um so that or because she played it, it was sort of like a big move. It wasn't like it wasn't like she ends up with an idol at the end
Mm,
um that she
Mm.
only has because nobody saw her as a threat.
yeah,
Like she doesn't have a Xander idol basically.
yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, she did play it correctly. Or she, yeah, she played it correctly. Goat of the week. Who do we have?
Sorry, Jamie.
Jamie. What about you?
Robert De Niro.
Why we want to do that, Jam? Why?
For me, it's Heidi. It's Heidi. Poor Heidi. My winner pick played, but she still got goat. She was goat this week. Why Jamie Martz?
I don't know. It's like it's the perpetual edit.
Because she's the goat.
Yeah.
She's a dodo.
Doesn't get a
She's being
break.
shown as a dodo. Uh, why Robert De Niro, Jao?
Does it need any explanation?
Yeah, for me, Heidi, this is a bit more serious because she's not on the right side of the vote, and she got two inexplicable votes on her, votes that were given to her for no apparent reason. And I guess that's also that also means that goat of the week are the Survivor editors for not giving us a concise, a good storyline
Yes.
as regards that vote.
Shame on you, editors.
Yeah. One last thing, purple of the week.
The apparent reason for Heidi votes.
Actually, there you go.
Same for me. The sense in what Lauren and Jamie did, it
What
was
you
such
guys
a head scratcher. If they think that if they were thinking that an idol was going to be in play, then whoever the Tika 3 was targeting was gonna get voted out. So
Indeed.
there was never any indication that they were gunning for Heidi. It was never a Heidi or Danny discussion. It was a Danny or Carson
Danny.
discussion. So why vote Heidi? Just maybe to show that they're like in the middle. I don't know. No apparent reason. So we'll see how they explain that away next episode.
Yes.
Any other thoughts, guys?
Oh,
Nope. All right. So I guess that is it for this episode of the Council of Titos. If you liked this episode, please, please, please hit the thumbs up icon and consider subscribing to the Laro-Laro Lang channel. We have other stuff on it based on sports and other similar things. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs as we talk Survivor, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos and you'll hear us. Anyway, this has been Chief Bistak Joel Parcon.
I'm Jao. Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut.
And this is Martin. Not to
There
be
you
confused
go.
with any of the Stooges.
All right. We hope you can join us on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, everyone. The Titos have spoken.